If your local petrol station had a scheme, give us a fiver and we'll knock 40 pence off every litre of petrol for a whole month, there'd be queues a mile long at participating stations. Yet we EV drivers are offered a choice of better deals than these, and many people just reject them. That makes absolutely no sense at all to me. I'm Dave, this is Dave Takes It On. EV public charging has been transformed over the last year or two, with over 73,000 being added in 2024 alone. In fact, just last month, another 1,165 new chargers were added to this already huge nationwide network. No longer do we EV drivers have to worry about can we charge. Instead, the focus has turned to how much do we pay to charge. Well, the harsh fact is that if you go to buy petrol or diesel, the price you pay will vary by usually just a few pence. There are no absolute outright bargains to be had. In fact, quite the opposite, as many drivers have found out on motorway services, where price rockets upwards by 10, 20, even 30 pence a litre. It's a sad fact that there are no real bargains. There are a few offers, like Costco, but membership comes at a price typically around £5 a month, and you're likely to save 10 or 20 pence a litre in return. These often make no financial sense for most motorists, and most of those using this already have a membership which they use for food or goods. Yet the Costco petrol stations suffer from regular queues. EV drivers are finding that the discounted offers they have available throughout the UK actually do make perfect sense. And the question they often ask is, which one is best for me? Well, Dave Takes It On looks into these offers and which offers the best value. So we need a few facts first. So like Costco, these deals are called memberships. You pay a fixed monthly sum, typically anywhere between just under a fiver to more than just over £10 a month. You get a discount off all your charging for that month, typically between 20 and 30%, and generally the more you pay, the bigger the discount you get. If you can charge your EV at home on off-peak cheap overnight rates for most of your motoring and only occasionally use public chargers, memberships would seem to offer very little. They tend to favour EV drivers who cannot charge at home, where the savings can be very significant indeed. But EV memberships are offered on a monthly basis. There's no cancellation fee. If you simply don't pay for the following month, your membership stops. So that makes them absolutely ideal if you do normally charge at home, or even if you don't, but you decide to travel longer distance. Say you're going on a visit up to a distant relative in the Scottish Highlands, or you're going on a road trip holiday in the UK or Europe. You can join a scheme for a month, get the discount charging for those trips, then just go back to charging at home for the rest of the year. Just make sure your chosen CPO as the charge point operator or EV charging network. Just make sure they have the charges you want wherever you're going to be going. Well, according to the experts and government, a typical UK motorist covers less than 8,000 miles a year. An EV stores and consumes electricity in units called kilowatt hours, our electrical equivalent to gallons in a petrol car. Typical modern EV has a battery size of about 55 kilowatt hours and can drive around 4 miles for every kilowatt hour it has. Typical EV driver will therefore need to buy around 2,500 kilowatt hours in a year, and that equates to charging your car up around once a week, maybe slightly more. Those fortunate enough to be able to charge at home will simply plug in most nights and charge while they sleep. The average rate they pay off-peak is 7 pence per kilowatt hour, so buying all of those 2,500 kilowatt hours each year would cost them about £175. Out on the road, that tiny 7p per kilowatt hour is very rarely found, and EV charging prices, just like petrol at motorway services, can be very much dearer, as much as 10 times dearer, so closer to 70 or 80 pence per kilowatt hour. However, just like most people do not fill their tanks with petrol at a motorway services, so most EV drivers never pay that ridiculous top rate. The average EV driver who cannot charge at home will need to charge the car about once a week, maybe slightly more. And at each occasion, they will take on board about 50 kilowatt hours. The battery, of course, is never totally flat when we stop to charge. So if an EV driver topped up once a week and chose to pay the ridiculous 80 pence per kilowatt hour, then each session would cost about £40. Total annual electricity consumed would be nearer £2,000. So by comparison, an average petrol car paying £1.35 a litre and doing 30 to the gallon would pay about £1,600 a year. So first important message, don't ever charge up and pay 80 pence a kilowatt hour. That's crazy. There are plenty of chargers that cost far less. I'm going to cover some of these later. Memberships and how they work. Okay, so let's just make up a typical membership to give you an idea of how they work. And then we're going to have a look at what's actually available out there on the road. So in this example, the membership's going to cost us £7 a month. And it will offer 30% discount, and the normal price is 75 pence at full price. So each month you're going to pay them £7 membership, and you would then pay 52.5 pence for each kilowatt hour that you bought during that month. And during that month you'd buy 200 kilowatt hours. So that makes 200 times 52.5 is £105 plus the £7. It's a monthly total of £112. 200 kilowatt hours for £112 equals 56 pence per kilowatt hour averaged. So 12 months at that rate would cost £1,400, and that's pretty similar to a petrol car achieving 35 or 40 to the gallon. Well, now we know the principle, let's have a look what's out there. There's an absolute plethora of offers available. So first, going to have a quick look at totally free memberships. When you buy a new EV, many now include an introductory free membership to a specific charger network. It's usually limited to just 1 year. Vauxhall recently went one better. They offered a 1-year totally free EV charging at Tesco chargers. Well, these offers are usually EV brand specific, they're very limited timescale, and they're too numerous to detail here. They chop and change. The exception of free ones is Tesla, which automatically includes a free lifetime membership of their supercharger network worldwide with every EV, ensuring the lowest prices you're likely to find. My advice, if it's free, makes sense, grab it, use it. There are several companies offering free memberships that don't actually operate their own chargers, and these are free to join, like Octopus Electroverse and some of the fuel card providers available to petrol motorists. While the discounts are generally very small, typically a few pence, maybe 5 pence, they're free. So again, grab one because every penny counts. Other free memberships are run by companies that do operate their own charger networks, like BE.EV. Again, if the membership's free, you typically get about 5p per kilowatt hour discount. So while BE.EV is fairly competitive in list price, many are not. But again, if you don't expect too much, they're free. Well, the more popular memberships that offer significant discounts are BP Pulse, Ionity, Fastned and Tesla. Let's have a look at BP Pulse first. Well, they operate an extensive network of their own chargers and offer links to others that they call partners. But they are the most expensive in the UK at up to 89 pence per kilowatt hour for contactless and 85 pence for non-members who must use their app. The membership costs £7.95 a month, and they give the first month's membership fee totally free. With membership, the price drops to 65 pence for ultra rapid, 63 for rapid, and 44 for fast chargers. So while 20 pence or so off the list price sounds good, in reality, most EV drivers can find ultra rapid networks with a list price of 69 pence or less, fast chargers for 44 pence or less, without needing any memberships. Be aware that despite the website stating they're installing a massive network across the whole of Europe, recent statements have revealed they are in fact rolling back on all renewable and EV pledges and plans. If you charge once a week for 50 kilowatt hours at an ultra-rapid charge and BP Pulse is your only option, then you're going to end up paying 200 kilowatt hours for 69 pence each, £138 plus the £7.95, £145.95. That's 73 pence per kilowatt overall. If you only charge once a month, membership makes no sense at all. You can usually do far better than this without having to pay to become a member. This is one to avoid unless it's your only option. If it's the only one nearby, get the membership. Fastnet operates in the UK and Europe and offers a simple 74p list price in the UK and a membership that costs £9.99 a month with a 30% discount offered. That drops the price down to 52p. The non-member weekly charging session will get you 200 kilowatt hours at 74p, that's £148. With membership, that becomes 252p, £104, plus the £9.99, it's £113.99, so you save over £36 a month. That reduces the total cost per kilowatt hour average out to 57p. A once a month charging session of 50 kilowatt hours will cost 50 at 52p. It's £26 plus £9.99, which is £36, versus a non-member 50 kilowatt hours at 74p, 37 quid. It's about a quid difference. So if you charge once a month, not worth it. If you charge more than once a week, Fastnet definitely makes sense. While the network extends across Europe, the list price charged per country varies, as does the membership fee and the discount. In all cases, if you do charge weekly, this offers a significant saving over not being a member. Ionity likewise operates throughout the UK and Europe, and the prices range from 74p for contactless, 71p for Ionity Go, which requires you to use their app, and they have 2 paid memberships. Their Motion is for occasional users, those that don't use public chargers very much. And that's £5.49 a month. It's currently £3.88 for the first month reduced. Then all sessions will be at the 53p. So with our once weekly sessions, you get 200 at 53p, £106 plus the £5.49. It's £111.49. That's equivalent to 56p per kilowatt hour, almost identical to Fastnet offering. If you charge only once a month, you're going to get 50 at 53p, £26.50 plus the £4.59, it's £31.09, or 62p per kilowatt hour. And that's still much cheaper than the standard 74p or 71p either way. The Motion membership makes sense from just one charge per month. If you do and choose the higher mileage membership, Power, you pay £10.50 a month, but the price per kilowatt hour then drops to just 42p. So Power offers 200 at 42p, £84 plus the £10.50, £94.50, which is a further £17.49 cheaper than the Motion and equates to 47p a kilowatt hour. Well, in our example, if you do charge weekly, then Power is the membership that offers the most, whereas if you only charge once a month, Power would be, there wouldn't be an awful lot in it. So a once a month user there, regular user, could choose either membership, but once a week should definitely go for the Power. Tesla membership is much more complicated, but also in most cases much cheaper. However, just going to skip over this for just a few seconds, and we're going to choose an average supercharger such as Stoke-on-Trent, which is open to all cars, not just Tesla. And it charges members, non-members, 56p at peak time of 44 off-peak. From that, we can get an average that would be fairly similar to most open-to-all chargers in the UK. We're assuming that people will choose to charge once a week and always off-peak. Why on earth wouldn't you? Then a non-member will pay 200 times 44p, which is £88, while a member will get a reduced rate of 34p, making 200 times 34, 68, plus £8.99, that's £76.99, equivalent to 38p per kilowatt hour. For a charge of just once a month, you get 50 times 34 is £17 plus the £8.99, that's £26 as a member, against 50 times 44, which is £22 as a non-member. In that case, charging only once a month, it's much cheaper not to become a member. Gets even more complicated, but also much cheaper because Tesla now operates the largest ultra-rapid charging network in the UK, but not all locations allow non-Teslas to charge there. Their website or their app will identify which ones can be used by non-Tesla owners. It's probably about half of them. Some of these offer contactless payments, while others will require a free-of-charge app to operate them and pay for the session. Prices are also much more complicated because each supercharger has peak and off-peak rates, and many also have super off-peak rates. Then different supercharger locations can have very different peak hours versus off-peak hours, and also vary in price by a few pence at all times. Membership is £8.99 per month. However, Tesla at many locations offers, as mentioned, really silly cheap rates. At the open-to-all supercharger at the Trafford Centre at Manchester, the super off-peak rate for non-members is just 28 pence per kilowatt hour after 11 p.m. at night and up to 4 a.m. That, as a non-member, is even far cheaper than others would pay as a member at a different supercharger. As a member of that, even that low price drops down to 21 pence. For really cheap EV charging, it really is worth looking at which superchargers are around and what they cost, rather than just choosing the nearest. Sometimes just a few miles separates them and one can offer almost half-price charging. Tesla open-to-all chargers are generally cheaper than all other offers in any area, and becoming a member just drops this to silly levels. Well, I hope that's helped some of you. We do not promote or condone memberships with anyone. We merely point out that they are widely available and how much you could save if you chose to use one of them. Likewise, we do not promote or condone Tesla superchargers. We merely report what is available and how much you could save by using them in various scenarios. Whether you use them is entirely your choice. I'm Dave. Thanks very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more, these offers do change from time to time, then subscribe and click the notification bell so we can notify you every time we launch a new video. Big thank you as always to our Patreon members. I'm Dave.